Good evening, Scott B. Welcome. Hope you had a wonderful week, Scott. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Hello. Mel, Will, and everyone else in the chat. Good evening, Mel. I hope you had a wonderful weekend so far. Well, now weekend. Hooray, Sweat Shoes. Good evening. How are you tonight? I'm doing pretty good, Scott. Pretty good. Why Wonder? Hi. Hope you had a good turkey day. Why Wonder? Pretty good. Different, but definitely good. Had a lot of people here for Thanksgiving. Tina King, the Tina Bug. Hello from Tennessee. Good evening, Tina. I did. Well, we had quite an extended family here. At one point, we had quite a few. I mean, we were expecting 18 for dinner, but we had at one point 22. But then some people came and went, but we ended up around 18 for dinner. Pretty good. Our Thanksgiving was October 10th. Where is that, Mel? Australia, Britain, Canada? I don't know where they would celebrate October 10th. Forgive my ignorance on that. But we did a little bit of everything. I did, it was a 23-pound turkey. That thing's pretty much gone. Then I did a 30-pound prime rib, and then all the fixings and everything else. So we had a little bit of variety for people to eat. Good evening, Reichart. Canada, October 10th in Canada. Well, that's cool. Hello, and gang, willing gang. I had a friend who's from Madagascar, and they actually celebrate their version of a Thanksgiving there as well. But it's like a Thanksgiving and holiday celebration, like more seasonal, I guess. But people celebrate Thanksgiving all over the world. It's not just in America. Thanksgiving Day in Canada is on the second Monday of October. Wow, that's cool. So if you play your cards right, you could actually make multiple Thanksgivings. There you go. Think about that. do Thanksgiving in Canada, and then come to America and do Thanksgiving here. I'm gonna give it another minute here, and then we're gonna get the trivia going. You bet. Love the pies and desserts. I made a homemade apple pie. I made three. I made two regulars, and then I made one with no crust, no top on it at all. Because we have some friends that are gluten free. They can't eat gluten, so I made a gluten free version for them. I also had to keep other ingredients out of it, but basically it was just like the filling of the pie in a pie pan. So they loved it. That I actually went out of my way to actually make them something, that they could eat as well, because they were kind of worried, like, they were going to be restricted to certain foods. I'm like, come on, I'll cook the whole meal. I'll make a separate version, because my daughter's vegetarian, so I always make a complete vegetarian version along with all the other food that I make. So I make vegetarian dressing and and gravies and stuff like that are just for her. So going out of it might be a little bit more work, but it's not that much more. I'd be eating turkey for months, but isn't there really anything wrong with that? That's one of the best things about turkey. It's like you can make a turkey sandwich or something out of it the next day. Well, we didn't have any turkey left. I took the entire carcass, the turkey, and I put it in a stock pot, and I'm boiling it down right now as we speak. So I'll make probably a turkey dumpling soup out of it. I know where to go next year for Thanksgiving. More the merrier. More the merrier, Scott. Going to where the pies are. Your favorite pie is pumpkin pie, Mel? My daughter made 6 pumpkin pies, and then we had pumpkin pie, apple. Then we had blueberry and strawberry cheesecake. So we had the 3 different. Those are the 3 main ones. And then we had my niece made. They're like little pumpkin muffins, but they're trying to. I don't know what they're called, but they're in a shape round like a muffin, but they're like a cheesecake and cake all together, like a dessert, and they're like, you bite into them, they're light and fluffy, kind of like phyllo dough. They're so good. Those didn't last long at all. Once a couple people had them and the word got spread that they were good, they were gone. They were gone. In Portugal, we celebrate Thanksgiving December 31st. We called it Aco de Gracias. Oh, that's cool. I should be done typing in the trivia for next week tonight. All right. I hope to see it in the email there, Cement Shoes, because next weekend we're playing Cement Shoes' trivia next Friday. So keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Next Friday, all the questions are coming from Cement Shoes. I appreciate it. All right, let's get tonight's going. Famous dumb criminals. Get myself in my little window there. Hi, everybody. I'm in the little window in the corner. Question 1. Klaus Schmidt. Now, you'll notice one thing right off the bat before I read the first question. You'll see like it says 4.8 million views there on the right-hand side in red. Now, wherever it says the view count total, there's some of them that don't. But that's the view count for the original story where this comes from. So the original story for this one had 4.8 million views. It may have more now, or there might be other versions of it. But Klaus Schmidt has always wanted to hit it big. Can't fault the man for dreaming big. One day the idea came to him how to make that one last hit. To get that last rob a bank, obviously, was his great idea. What tripped him up? Was it A, he didn't tie his shoes? B, he is deaf and couldn't hear the alarms. C, he is legally blind. Or D, he tripped over the curb and dropped his gun. What tripped up Klaus Schmidt? I referred some friends from other chats. I'm hoping they stop by. They were interested in all the trivia, especially music. All right. I hope they stop by, Cement Shoes. Cement Shoes is going with B. He is deaf and couldn't hear the alarms. Tina's going with B as well. A, B, C, or D. Every question is multiple choice. And we're just playing for fun. Don't be scared to jump in there. There's 9 people in here right now. So we should have 9 answers. A for Reichart. My daughter's boyfriend and his dad came all the way from Virginia. And they're here in town. So they came for Thanksgiving. So that was neat. It's nice to meet them in person. You know, we had my sister and all her rugrats and all their significant others. It adds up pretty quick when you have a large family and they bring at least their significant others with them. E, he forgot to where the bank was. And we had that one last week, a question like that. They wanted to rob a bank and they went into a funeral parlor by mistake and they tried to rob it, but the bank was next door. That happened. But it's funny. A, B, C, or D. Klaus Schmidt has always wanted to hit it big. Can't fault the man for dreaming big. One day his idea came to him how to make that one last hit, get that last score. Rob a bank, obvious it was his great idea. What tripped him up? Oh, I was here last week. I hope you're here every week, Mel. But I understand, we can't make everyone. Right card, cigarettes and coffee. There you go. I got pink lemonade and cigarettes tonight. That's what's keeping me awake. That in Mountain Dew Voltage. This stuff's actually pretty good. I don't know if you guys have ever tried this stuff. It's the blue one, blue Mountain Dew. It's not bad. Charged with raspberry and ginseng. Ginseng's good for you. I'm sure there's so little of it in here, though. Mel is going with B. Purple, good evening, is going with D. I hope you had a wonderful week, Purple. All right. The answer to question number 1 is B as in boy. It is actually B. He's legally deaf and couldn't hear the alarms. The clerk, when he walked up to the teller to rob her and ask for put all the money, give her all the money, she kept on asking him if he wanted a bag or if she wanted him to put it on the counter. What did he want me to do with the money? He couldn't hear her. And of course, they hit the alarm system, and he couldn't hear it. Mountain Dew Voltage. I'm still laughing at the guy who called the bank and told them they were coming to rob them and said they have money ready. All right, let's go on to question 2. If I get my damn mouse over to this other screen. There we go. You like Code Red? I don't. It's got that one with the cinnamon in it, right? I don't like that one. All right, question 2. Sorry that this one's a little off-centered. The last line, I'll read it for you so everybody can read it. Zachary Mulberry. Taking a hint was never Zach's strong suit. He found himself yet again in love, his words, with another married woman. Unsure what he could do to convince this lady of his life to run away with him, what did he decide would be the one thing he would do to show her he loved her? Did I forget to mention they never met? 1.8 million views originally on this story. Was it A, rent a billboard with his face on it proclaiming his love for her? B, buy a rose a day delivered to her workplace? C, sign her up for a chocolate of the month subscription with a note service? Or D, sent her thousands of letters a month from jail? What did Zachary Mulberry do? But she was going with D. Why, wonder it's A. No, Smith Shoes changing to A. A guy like that would go for loud billboard. A, says Mel. Right card's going with D. A for Tina. Can you imagine any of these? Now, these are all coming, whatever one it was from a man you never met. Put a billboard up proclaiming his love for her. Send her roses to her, every day to her work. Sign her up for a subscription service. Or send her thousands of letters from jail. Any way you go, that's creepy as hell. Because remember, they've never met. He just fell in love with this lady, and it was someone he never met. Purple's going with B, but don't take my word for it. Zachary Mulberry. Casey Hudson, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Casey. Glad you could be here with us. I hope you had a wonderful week. What did Zachary Mulberry do? Creepy isn't the word, right? Any one of them is beyond stalking. Casey's going with D. All right. Question 2. The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen. Mel hit on it. It's A as in apple. He rented a billboard along the freeway, the interstate, and it was I got the story pulled up here, in Luckenbach, Texas. He put up rented the billboard with his picture on it, his face, proclaiming his love for her. He never met her, but the billboard he paid for, I think it was 3 months, but the company was forced to take it down, and then don't know what happened to it afterwards, because billboards are actually printed on like canvas in a lot of like, or a paper. I don't know if they still use paper, but they used to be on paper. C sure would be. Yeah, but he rented a billboard. I don't know what it cost. It doesn't say in the article itself. Quickly, I'll tell you what he got sentenced to for it. He got sentenced to 10 months in jail for stalking. 10 months. And in case you're wondering when he did this, he did it July 28th, 2000. July 28th, 2000. And he was sentenced to 10 months in jail. But looking back, I think that's how you pronounce it. Looking back. Hello, Donna M. Good evening and welcome. C for sure would be. All right, question 3. If I can get, there we go. Question 3. Driving that train, high on cocaine. Jeremy Renner, the actor. You better watch your speed. Trouble ahead, trouble behind. And you know that notion just crossed my mind. What did Hollywood star Mr. Renner do last time on cocaine? 328 million views for this story, ladies and gentlemen. Was it A, he told the world he was going to kill his wife? B, he called a radio station higher than the Empire State Building? C, confessed to crimes he couldn't have done? Or D, fired a gun off in his house through the floor of his daughter's bedroom? How demented. Yeah, it's pretty, you got to admit though, I mean, it is pretty unique though. I mean, it's creepy as hell. You know, I would hate to see somebody do that to me or to somebody I know and love. You know, driving along the freeway, you see a giant billboard with some guy's face on it proclaiming their love for that person. They'd be like, do you know that person? No? Who the hell is that? Fired a gun off and it says, why wonder? Casey Hudson's going with C. I think A is possible. He hated his wife. Donna A? Question mark? Maybe. But 328 million views on the original story about this one. That's probably more people than have seen his last 3 movies. Oh, thank you, Gone Girl. And how are you doing? I hope you're doing better. Hope you're feeling better, sweetheart. But thank you very much. I appreciate the super chat. Cement's going with D. Diana, D. And good evening, Diana Bowman. Good evening to you. Welcome to the trivia, Diana Bowman. Good evening to you. They were only married 1 year. No wonder. What did Jeremy Renner do the last time on cocaine? You still in the hospital, sweetheart? Oh, I'm sorry. I was hoping you were home by now. Darn it. I hope you're getting better, though. Are you feeling any better? Oh, I had a wonderful one, Diana Bowman. I hope you did as well. Purple's going with D. You are feeling better? Good. Good. I'm hope so. Hoping for a much more speedier recovery. Gone Girl's going with A. All right. Well, question 3, ladies and gentlemen. The correct answer, what did Jeremy Renner do the last time high on cocaine? The correct answer is D as in dog. But if you guessed anything else from this list, A, B, or C, you get credit. It started off high on cocaine. He was doing cocaine. Then he decided to go out on the town higher than a kite, with his friend. There, while out on the town, in ear's length of TMZ, the tabloid news television show, he said that he hated his wife and he wanted her gone. So, hey, A would be a correct answer. But the first thing he did was D before he left the house. He shot the gun through the floor went through the floor of his daughter's bedroom. That was before he left the house. Higher than hell. He did everything else. And later on, while he was in the bar, partying with his friends, probably still on more cocaine, he confessed the crimes that he didn't do. He did them all one night. But D was the last thing he did. Yeah. So stay away from cocaine. And Jeremy Renner. That's my word of advice for tonight. This has been your public service announcement. Question 4. Oh, D. Well, that's nice since I'm still correct with A. Yeah. All right. 419 million views on Snoop Dogg. With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being a Snoop Dogg D-O-double-G. What crime was he arrested and charged with in 1993? Was it A, drugs, B, pimping because it ain't easy, C, murder, or D, being friends with Martha Stewart? With so much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard to being a Snoop D-O-double-G. Dari D, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia, Dari. I hope you are having a wonderful week, and I hope you have a terrific weekend. Thank you for joining us tonight. So much drama in the LBC, it's kind of hard being a Snoop D-O-double-G. He says it a lot better in his song. Those are actually lyrics to his song, in case you're wondering. Good evening, Starfire. Didn't even see you sneak in there. Welcome. Love letters from Haiti. What's up? What's up, letters from Haiti? Good evening. Love letters from Haiti is going with C, murder. I hope you are doing well. Thank you for joining us tonight. Snoop Dogg. Snoop Dogg's in the house. $419 million views on the original story of this. That's a lot of views. Lots and lots of views. Happy to be here. I'm happy you're here too. I don't know. They're all nuts. But I have to choose. I'm going with N. Best place to be on Friday night. Yes, it is. Thank you, Purple. I try. I try to make this as entertaining as possible. We all get to hang out and learn something new about some messed up criminals. or messed up criminal acts, at least, nothing else. Not okay, I'm out. You're out what? Out of guesses? Hope you're doing well though. Question 4. With so much drama in the LBC. I don't know. Does anybody know what LBC is? I don't even know what that is. But that's the lyrics to the song, so I just copied them as they are. It's kind of hard being a Snoop D-O double G. What crime was he arrested for and charged with in 1993? The correct answer to question 4, ladies and gentlemen, is C as in cat. Murder. And he was acquitted. But he was charged with murder. And they went through the entire thing. Arrested and charged with in 1993. Long Beach, California. Oh, thank you, Hades. See, I knew somebody would know it. I didn't have a clue. I'm like LBC. All right. No, you're a West Coast rapper, so that makes sense, especially from Cali. They're all nuts. But if I have to choose, I'm going with B. Pippin ain't easy. The Z is in there, easy for Easy E. All right, question 5. Pick a knife. Biat. I'm wearing a white t-shirt. There will be lots of blood and I'll make a great picture. You'll be famous for killing Tyra Manning. Yes, Tyra Manning screamed this so loud on the set of Orange is the New Black, hundreds heard it. What did she do before this that should have landed her in jail? With 321 million views on this one. A, slapped her makeup artist. B, sprayed Windex in the eyes of her makeup artist. C, punched her assistant in the face. Or D, snorted a line of cocaine. Pick a knife, biatch. I'm wearing a white t-shirt. There will be lots of blood and it'll make a great picture. You will be famous for killing Tyra Manning. Yes, Tyra Manning screamed this so loud on the set of Orange is the New Black, hundreds heard it. What did she do before this that should have landed her in jail? Right card's going with B. Going with C. Didn't hear about this. Ooh, boy. Well, I found quite a few articles on this one. Yeah, but this wasn't her first tirade like this. It wasn't the first, and I don't think it'll ever be the last. Cement Shoes is going with C. Who the heck is this woman? I'll choose B. Well, she's an actress, Tyra Manning, and she was on the TV show Orange is the New Black. She's done other things, besides that, but that's what she's most known for. I guess in popular culture, I guess. C, C, B, C, Tyra Manning. Tyron Manning. What did she do before screaming this out? Where hundreds heard it. Some people are nuttier than roasted peanuts. It's true. It's true. I got a gentleman who he walks in around in our community. He's completely harmless, and he's a paranoid schizophrenic. And we can tell what time of day it is just by when he walks by your house. He walks by my house at every night exactly at 5 p.m. And he just wanders the community and he carries on in-depth conversations with people that are not there. And there's even pauses where he thinks that they're talking to him at the same time. I mean, he's a wonderful guy. I've seen him when he's on his medication, but he's completely different from the way he is when he's off his medication. But every night, like clockwork, and unfortunately, when it comes to schizophrenia, a lot of medications work in the short term, but they don't work long term. And after a while, your body just builds up a tolerance to it, and the medication stops working. I don't know if he's even on medication anymore. I know he lives probably about 3 blocks from here, but the man walks miles a day, just carrying on conversation. But he's completely harmless. He doesn't even know anybody else is like really there. I mean, you could be standing right in front of him. You don't even know you're there. Oh, he's completely harmless, Mel. I mean, we've known about him in our community since I was in elementary school. I mean, he's got to be in his 60s now, but we just knew about it then. Like I said, he's completely harmless. All right, but what did Tyron Manning do before she screamed this out? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy. B as in boy. She sprayed Windex in the eyes and mouth of her makeup artist. Yeah. And yet she wasn't arrested or convicted of it. There was some kind of like out of court, settlement for the entire thing. But she did that, and then she screamed this at the lady, to pick up a knife and kill her because it'd make her famous. We had another guy used to walk from town to town to town. Everybody just reflected. Everybody called him Uncle Kenny, even though they weren't related to him. But everybody just called him Uncle Kenny. And he used to go to you would always find him every day at a 7-Eleven, and the family had it set up so they would prepay for cigarettes and a can of Pepsi at certain stores, independently owned 7-Eleven stores. So he would stop in every day and get a pack of cigarettes, and a Pepsi. And he passed away a couple of years ago from cancer, unfortunately. But his mind was totally fried, and it wasn't even his fault. I guess like he went to some party and someone had like spiked a drink with like LSD or something, and it liquefied his brain or something. I can't remember what really the story is, but he was quiet and he would just wander everywhere. The people like that are in every community. You just don't necessarily see them. All right, going on to question 6. Boom! This is a bonus question. It's not even on the list. Bonus, not a crime, other than it's a crying shame God took him from us all way too soon. Who is this man? Hint, he's the real motherfucking G. Is that A, Dr. Dre? B, former President Barack Obama? C, is that Seal? Or D, is that Easy E? Not even, it's a bonus question. Instead of the bonus questions at the end of the entire night, I threw them in intermittently throughout the actual, questions tonight. So answer however you think it is. Is that Dr. Dre, former President Barack Obama, Seal, or Easy E? I'll go with D. And I placed this picture on purpose where it is because you can't see his bracelet on his wrist because that has his name on it. Not a crime, other than it's a crying shame God took him from us all way too soon. Who is this man? We had a guy over here who's been homeless for years, backpacking around, going from city to city. One day at 5:45 a.m., someone found him dead on the road. Oh, that's sad. Determined as a heart attack. He's definitely not one of the other three. Hi, Interpeas. Good evening, and welcome to tonight's trivia, Interpeas. You made it, and I'm so happy you're here with us tonight. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll move on from the bonus question here. The correct answer is D as in dog. That is Easy E. Yeah. Now, if you look down the bottom left-hand corner of the picture, his bracelet on his other glove hand. He's got a watch on the one on the left, but the one on the far right is a bracelet with his name on it. Easy E. I choose D. Will. NWA. Yep, one of the founding members of NWA. All right, question 6. Charlie Sheen's back, ladies and gentlemen, with 496 million views on the original story. Because he's winning, hello, Charlie Sheen has been on several brushes with the law. So let's just look at 2009 for this question. What did Charlie do this year in 2009? Was it A, drugs? It's got to be drugs. B, DUI. C, public intoxication. Or D, assault and battery. What got Charlie in trouble with the law in 2009? Good old Charlie Sheen makes another famous dumb criminal list. For question 6. Good old Charlie. E, all the above and loitering. There's our inner piece. Hey, drugs. It's got to be drugs, says Cement Shoes. E, tiger blood. Jay Hughes, good evening. Isn't that what he said he was drinking with tiger blood? And that's what made him winning? Casey E, all the above. I think he said he was drinking tiger blood or something like that. D. Chrissy, good evening. Welcome to tonight's trivia. Thank you for joining us tonight. 496 million views on the original story of this. What did Charlie do to get in trouble with the law in 2009? Because we can pick a lot of years, a lot of months in the history of Charlie Sheen to find out, wow, hell, we can do an entire trivia night and just questions on what did Charlie do this month? Starfire, I think he hit his wife. I heard a dragon's blood, but not tiger blood. Thanks, you new here? Well, welcome, Chrissy. He won AIDS. He definitely won that prize, didn't he? And the winner of HIV goes to Charlie Sheen. Shouldn't make fun of it, but it's a horrific disease to get. The answer is D, assault and battery. Oh, Charlie, what did you do in 2009? Well, ladies and gentlemen, in 2009, Charlie did a lot of things. He probably did every single one of these on the list in 2009, but he was arrested for D as in dog, assault and battery. And yes, to all those who say that he assaulted his wife, he assaulted his wife. But Charlie also assaulted his assistant. He assaulted his manager, and he pled no contest to assault, received probation and a $1,500 fine, and he needed to do 30 hours of community service, which you can guarantee Charlie Sheen probably got away with doing a stand-up comedy routine at a drug rehab center or something stupid to, qualify for the 30 hours of community service. But assault and battery, D as in dog, is the correct answer. Going on to question 7. Nick Nolte, speaking of winners, was charged with making counterfeit documents in 1965. Looking at a 45-year sentence, he sang all the way to the door. The FBI in 2010 confirmed they still had an active file on him because of his association with crime bosses. What actually landed Nick Nolte in jail, though? Was it A, murder, B, assault and battery, C, DUI, or D, making the movie 48 Hours? Yeah, he's winning. J. Hughes, DUI. Rocky Road Lady, good evening. Welcome, Rocky Road Lady. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us tonight. Chrissy has no idea. She's going to guess C as well. Question 7. I had no idea that Nick Nolte was looking at a 45-year sentence in 1965 for making counterfeit forged documents. Well, I don't know if they're forged, but they're definitely counterfeit documents. But in 2010, the FBI is still following him, just keeping an eye on him. Rockhart's going with C, DUI. What did Nick Nolte do? 1965 got him on the FBI's watch list, but what eventually got him in jail? Starfire and Purple are both going with C as well. If they're forged, aren't they still counterfeit? That would be true. I just misread how the question was worded there. It doesn't actually have the word forged in there. It just says counterfeit. So that was my bad. Excuse me. Nick Nolte. But yet, even after all that, what he did in 1965 going forward, and even being associated up until 2010 with, crime bosses, he still had a pretty good career. So I guess there's hope for anybody. Evening, well, Turkey Day was a bust. I'm not a drinker, but to get by, I had 2 glasses of wine. Good time then. Well, Rocky Road Lady, I hope you enjoyed the rest of it though. After the wine, I think there were maybe 2 or 3 people who were here yesterday who had something to drink, a beer or something like that, or a glass of wine or whatever. But for the most part, we kind of keep that to a dull roar as not a part of the gatherings because it's we have a lot of people who are some are younger, some are older, from different political views, different of life, different religious backgrounds. So kind of keep the alcohol to a bare minimum. When we have gatherings like that, because otherwise it's like adding fuel to a fire. So I wasn't reading. I was just listening. They are winning and whining. Hello, mods. Hello there, Rocky Road Lady. Nick Nolte. What landed him in jail? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer is C as in cat. DUI. Not knowing that there's such a thing as Uber or calling a friend or a designated driver. Nick Nolte got behind the wheel of the car intoxicated. And from what the arrest record says, he wasn't just a little intoxicated, he was very intoxicated. And I didn't put the picture here, but there's a very famous picture of him wearing a Hawaiian shirt with his hair all frizzed out from that booking photo. You don't want a brawl or riot in your home, Will? Nope. Not here, Reichart. Not here, not on Thanksgiving. It's supposed to be a family, friends gathering and just excessive amounts of food. I'd rather people eat way too much food than drink way too much alcohol. Malibu, California, was it? He definitely got himself in trouble for that. But just think, the FBI are probably still watching him now because he has association with crime bosses. So better watch out, Nick. Question 7. Let's just say 2005, 2006, 2007 were not great years for the rock icon Fred Durst. In 2007, he pled no contest to 9 charges, including assault and battery with a deadly weapon. As if that wasn't enough, throw in the following charge from the list below. Was it A, terrorist threats, B, possession of gun by a felon, DUI, or D, attempting to bribe a public officer? That a public officer would be either a court officer, a police officer, someone who is an officer of the court. And yes, that could include even bribery of an attorney. They are all officers of the court. Interpedes, loitering. Fred Durst. Those were 3 really bad years for the man. 3 really bad years. Chrissy going with D. Attempting to bribe a public officer. Reichart's going with D as well. Cement shoes, possession of guns by a felon. Ooh, Rocky Road's going with D as well. What did Fred Durst do? 2007. LOL. Laughing out loud. Fred Durst. Some people never learn. Some people just make mistakes in life. over and over again, but eventually learn. Not too sure about Fred Durst, but I hope so. I hope he's learned his lesson from all this. Didn't look to see if he had been in trouble since then. Oh, Jay Hughes is going with C, DUI. Well, why isn't your picture in? Oh, thank you. I forgot. I took it away for the Easy E question. There I am in my little window. Thank you, Rocky Road Lady. I'm here. I'm in the corner. Just a little picture. Put myself in the corner. You can't put baby in the corner, but you can put Will in the corner. Remember, nobody puts baby in the corner. Anybody remember what movie that's from? Nobody puts baby in the corner. One of the best movies all time, at least in my book. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Nobody puts Will in the corner, except for Will. There you go, Purple. Purple got it. Dirty Dancing. I always liked that movie. I think Patrick Swayze was a hell of an actor. Unfortunately, we lost him, but cute mini Will. Dirty Dancing. Yep. Nobody puts Will in the corner but Will. Sometimes Will gets out of hand and he's got to be put in line. Will's got to go to the corner. Hello. My daughter and I had a marathon watching that in a 24-hour period, and I still didn't get tired of it. There you go. Had the time of my life. Oh, I had the time of my life. I have deliberately avoided that movie from your entire life. Really? Cement shoes? You avoided Dirty Dancing? Well, if you're going to avoid that, at least watch Roadhouse. Or Ghost. I mean, that's three heavy hitter movies right there by the same actor. All right. What did Fred Durst get arrested for along with the rest of all that in 2007? For question 8, the correct answer is C as in cat. He got a DUI on top of it all. You are putting the time out, Will. Love Roadhouse. Ghost was a good movie too. I liked all three of them, but that's just me. I'm different. All right, we're going back in time a little bit here. Back on the Chain Gang. Why was Hollywood star Robert Mitchum forced to hard labor on a chain gang? Robert Mitchum. Was it A, for vagrancy, B, attempted murder, C, hiring a hitman, or D, murder? And this original story had 117 million views. Robert Mitchum, back on the Chain Gang. Ooh, ah, ooh, ah. Back on the Chain Gang. Robert Mitchum. Starfire, you've never seen Dirty Dancing either. I noticed that the other day we were sitting around at Thanksgiving, and we were talking about movies from that we watched from our youth, that movies that we all probably look back on now as classics. My daughter has never seen Goonies. She's never seen what was the other one that she didn't see? It was Goonies and The Outsiders. The Outsiders with Ralph Macchio, and Emilio Estevez, Matt Dillon. She'd never seen that movie, The Outsiders. I've obviously I've let my daughter down. So those are classic movies. Everybody should see The Outsiders. And Goonies was funny. And by the way, Goonies house, in case you're interested, and you have a couple $1 million and you want to spend it on a house, the house that it's in the movie Goonies is up for sale again. Outsiders, but sad. Yeah. Pony Boy Curtis. Pony Boy Curtis was my favorite in The Outsiders. I always, but if you just take the entire Outsiders and you read it, in like a book, and you kind of get your mind, can kind of catch what more of what the story is about, from the kids from the other side of the tracks, the ones that were looked at as worthless, not as important, or they were never going to amount to anything, because they came from the other side of the tracks. But and some of them had hearts of gold, and they were the ones you really needed around, because they would have done anything for their friends, but they didn't commit murder. I read the novel The Outsiders. I remember. Pony Boy. Goonies house is for sale on the coast. Yep, it's for sale. I think it's $1.4 million or something like that. The last people who bought the house, they wouldn't allow it to be open or to the public, or to have the public, take pictures of it. But they kind of want to add the caveat now, if you buy the house, that you have to at least allow people near the home to take pictures of it. You don't have to let them on your property, but you have to allow people to come by and see it. Jay Hughes is going with Vagrancy. Radcart, I love The Outsiders. I like the novel as well as very short-lived TV series. Anyone remember that? No, I do not. Not me. I do not remember any kind of short-lived TV series from The Outsiders. I'll have to look it up. Maybe it's on Netflix or YouTube or Amazon Prime or something. All right, back to Robert Mitchum question though. Back on the chain gang, why was Hollywood star Robert Mitchum forced to hard labor on a chain gang? The correct answer is A as in apple, vagrancy. Yes, he was forced to do hard labor because he was a vagrant. Robert Mitchum. Look at those eyes and the hair. Man, I didn't like the last season, but I liked it. I liked the novel as well as. All right. Question 10. Kung Fu. David Carradine has had more than a few brushes with the law. However, his first in 1960 was his most serious. What was the charge? Was it A, draft dodging, B, shoplifting, C, assault and battery, or D, possession of explosives? This one has 210 million views from the original article. Kung Fu star David Carradine has had more than a few brushes with the law. However, his first was in 1960. What was it most serious? What was the charge? For question 10. Love the Sun 100. Damn, joined a little late, but hi everyone. Good evening and welcome. It looks like Dean Martin. My dad used to do his hair like Robert Mitchum, kind of like that. Always I'd love to be able to do that with my hair, but I'd have to let it grow out, obviously. But just like the style. I like the style of the men's clothing, the hair, all of it. For some reason, it was a little bit before my time, but still, for some reason, I always find myself gravitated towards that. I don't have a style now, but I always liked it. A, I love the sun's going with A. Reichardt, A as well. Draft dodgy. Kung Fu. Jennifer Aniston in the movie Office Space. I want to take you back to my place and watch Kung Fu. Yeah. Channel. The reference that Mike Judge put in the movie Office Space by Mike Judge. E, watching Dirty Dancing. Apparently, inner peas. Starfire's going with C, Assault in a Battery. David Carradine. I purposely picked this picture. All the other pictures I could find online from Kung Fu, he has his head shaved. And I was like, but I thought this was a more iconic picture with him with the hat on. Like I couldn't find any real good pictures of it. Maybe it's just the way my Google, was coming up with the pictures. That Kung Fu show looked boring. I used to watch it as a kid. It wasn't that boring. It was better than some of the other, stuff that was on TV. I mean, I think we only had 3 channels back then. Well, at least where I lived, we had like 3 channels. One was a PBS station, and then we had like ABC or NBC. It was like those 2 channels, but we didn't get all 3 channels because you had to have rabbit ears, the antennas, and well, it was a rabbit ears and a coat hanger or something like that on the back of the television. And then I was the remote control. Get up and change the channel. You had to walk over to the thing and turn the channel. I remember the first TV we ever got that had a remote control. It had a cord on it. So the remote plugged into the TV itself, and then the cord was attached to the remote and then attached to the TV. And you only had the remote as far as the damn remote would actually go with the cord. Those were the days. That was technology, ladies and gentlemen. Woohoo! You were living high on the hog if you had one of them TVs right there. Good evening, Lemon Pie. Sorry I missed you there. Welcome to tonight's trivia. I hope you had a wonderful week. You're living large, man. Yep. You were rolling in if you had that TV with the rabbit ears and the remote control that was attached to the TV. You didn't have to worry about your kids getting up to go over to it. But think of it this way, though. Think back on that. You never lost a remote. You didn't lose a remote. That TV, I still remember to this day. It was a big ass console TV that had the TV, and it had an 8-track player and it had a record player, all in one giant console. And it was made by Curtis Mathis Television Company. I remember that to this day. I hauled that damn thing everywhere, over the years, moving. And we moved from the West Coast to back east and back and forth and back and forth. I moved that damn thing so many times. It still worked to the day that we got rid of it. The only thing they ever went out on it was the clock. and it had a clock. You had actually, like an old alarm clock where you had to actually set the hands of the clock. I don't even, kids these days don't even know how to tell time on a clock. Foil for the rabbit ears, and I was a third child. You were the remote control. There you go. Ah, but those were the days, weren't they? Hell, we used to all watch, Archie Bunker, and everybody knew he was an asshole back then. But those were the days. Well, don't let that get started on that. Okay, hello, Will. Hello, Lemon Pie. All right. Did I answer what question 10? No, I didn't. So, question 10. What did David Carradine do in 1960 that was serious? The correct answer, ladies and gentlemen, is B as in boy, shoplifting. That was his major crime back in 1960, ladies and gentlemen. Shoplifting. Yeah, what a major criminal he was. Shoplifting. The teaching of children nowadays is what I'm talking about. Yeah. Yeah, they don't teach cursive anymore. All the clocks in my son's school are all digital. There's no hands on a clock anymore. I used to have a clock when I was a little kid that had a smiley face on it, and the hands of the clock had red mittens. So as it went around, you follow the clock by the hour. The hands of the clock. Not anymore. Hello, stop by to say hello. Good evening, Gayla. Anyone remember that one TV on the top of the other TV, one that sounded the picture? It worked though. Never did that. We always had big TVs, or we had a TV that was on a TV tray. All right. Question 11. Amanda Bynes of the Amanda Bynes Show on Disney is not what you call a good girl. Breaking the law, pushing the envelope has been her thing. In 2013, she again faced a lot of charges. Which one below was she charged with on top of possession of weed, reckless endangerment, and tampering with evidence? What else was she charged with? This one brought in 12 million views from the time that the original story broke. Was it A, littering, B, attempted murder, C, drug smuggling, or D, auto theft? What did Amanda Bynes do? That's a list of really good charges, though. Possession of weed, reckless endangerment, and tampering with evidence, plus one more. The VCR was the bomb. The VCR we had back then, Reichart, you could use as a boat anchor. Damn thing was huge. I remember when we got our first VCR, but first off, before we got our first VCR, we used to have to go to a store and rent a VCR and the tapes and rent them both and take them both home, and then hope you could hook them up to the UHF and the VHF or whatever things on the bottom back of the TV with the little screws, and then you had this little Y connector come out of it, and then you got to hook the VCR up to that just so you could actually get input. Yeah. Excuse me. Well, I'm looking at my garage at my boat anchor. 10851 CVC. What is that? E. She watched Dirty Dancing. Gayla. D. Jay Hughes. DUI? Why not? Everybody else seems to be getting them today. Here's a DUI for you. A DUI for you. Everybody gets a DUI. No. All right, that's Oprah. Everybody gets a car. A car for you. A car for you. Everybody gets a car. Full disclaimer, I will not be giving away any cars tonight. No cars for you. No cars for you. No cars for everyone. Thank you for joining and have a good night. If you get a DUI, you get a DUI. Everybody gets a DUI. Litterbug, says Jay Hughes. Hey, litter. I'm here for Inner Peas with answers. Love the sun. She is a hoot. Amanda Bynes, what did she get additional charge for in 2013? And FYI, ladies and gentlemen, Amanda Bynes announced, I think a couple of years back, that she is giving up acting altogether. She's going to work on behind the camera and also script writing or something else. But she said she's giving up acting altogether. Beautiful woman. I'm going with A, says Love the Sun. She was an actor? Oh, yeah, she's done quite a few things. Look up her IMDb page. She did some singing. She did some dancing. She did acting. She did a little bit of everything over the years. Ah. All right, question 11. What additional charge did she get in 2013? Well, ladies and gentlemen, first off, I'm going to tell you, all of these were from one incident. One incident, and the correct answer is A, as in apple, littering. You want to know what she did? She threw her bong out of a second-story window in New York City. Yes, tampering with evidence. Here's an additional charge. Possession of weed. All of it. My grandsons watched her on Nickelodeon. Yep. But she's given up acting. She's going to work behind the camera now. Blah. All right. Question 12, because we're on question 11. Bonus. Bonus question. Who is this man? Is that A, Michael McDonald, B, Steve Lynch, C, George Strait, or D, Robert Connor? Is Teddy Rose here? Well, good evening, Teddy Rose. I hope you had a wonderful week. Who is this man? For bonus question, Lemon Pie is going with C, George Strait. Hughes is going with George Strait as well. Oh, everybody going with C. Inner Peace. And Lawrence Welk. Or Elon Musk, says Jay Hughes. You know how hard it was to find a picture of this man without a hat? Not easy. And if he did find, and for all the pictures I went through, that was a picture of him with no hat on, he had to be looking at the camera. Most of the time, he's got a hat on when he's looking at the camera. It was hard. You can find a good picture of him with no hat on. D, Robert Connor. Gayla Denson. Cowboy hat? I don't know. That might tip the hand of who it is. Arnold Schwarzenegger? Nah, I don't think that's Arnold. Arnold. I think it's a tuba. It's not a tuba. I'll be back. He's the guy Amanda Bynes hit in the head with her bong when she threw it out the window. No, it's not him. That's funny though. It's a good one, Smith Shoes. No, ladies and gentlemen, this man is none other than C. George Strait. And yeah, I couldn't find it. Google him. Everything that comes up, he's going to be wearing that cowboy hat. The different cowboy hats, but it's either black or brown or, it's cowboy hat. And it was almost, I was sitting there scrolling through pictures, of George Strait. And I'm like, come on, there's got to be something with him without a cowboy hat on, because that would tip off the answer. But that is George Strait. All right, question 12. Tragic but true. What crime was Matthew Broderick charged with in 1987 in Ireland? Was it A, possession of cocaine, B, possession of meth, C, dangerous weapons, or D, dangerous driving causing death? 316 million views on the original story. Too handsome? I love his voice. Love listening to it, to George sing. He's got that classic voice. When country was country and not this, what they call country today. D. Hughes is going with cocaine. Just cocaine runs rampant through this list, doesn't it? DUI. Cocaine or DUI? Did he do prison time? I don't think so. I think he got fined a heck of a lot of money. And FYI, in 1987, he was with his then girlfriend, who was his co-star in, from where this picture is from, this is from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. The two of them were in Ireland together when he did this crime. Cocaine and DUI. He cutting glass and hijacking a parade in Chicago. but twist and shout. I recall. Oh, I can hear the song in my head now. But he did twist and shout, and he did the other one. Nope, no prison time for killing someone. You want to go to Ireland? Beautiful. No depending where you go and when you go. Hughes is going with driving causing death. Rackard is going with B, possession of meth. In 1987 in Ireland. Nope, no prison time for killing someone, cocaine DUI, driving death. 1987. The Irish were too kind to an American movie star. I think the next place my wife and her mother-in-law, well, her mom, my mother-in-law, and my daughter are going is to Scotland. I think that's where they're going next. But man, it could be Ireland. I don't know. Most of my family is from Ireland. Teddy Rose. Good evening, Teddy Rose. I hope you had a wonderful week. Thank you for joining us tonight. Hope you had a happy Thanksgiving. If you celebrate it, Mr. Broderick committed vehicular homicide. If we had some of the laws that they have over there, yeah. How do you come up with these answers so quickly? Impressive. She's a natural born comic. Rocky Road ladies going with D. Matthew Broderick. He's come a long ways from back then to where he is today. Now he was I don't want to say anything bad about him now. Probably piss people off. But the answer to question D, question 12 is D. The answer is D. Dangerous driving causing a death. I do believe it was two people. I don't believe it was just one. I think it was a mother and a daughter that were killed in the accident. But he paid a hefty fine, and he was allowed to be free for causing the death. But he was with his co-star and his girlfriend from Ferris Bueller's Day Off. There in who's a natural born comic? Cement shoes or inner peas? Not me, says Mel Stiller. I'm gonna go with both. They both make me laugh. I find them both amusing, and I hope you all do too. Jennifer Grey, correct. I knew it was great, but I could not remember what her first name was. But thank you, Jay Hughes. I appreciate that. But Jennifer Grey. All right. Question 13. Even the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has spent time in jail. What landed Will Smith behind bars in 2005? You better keep my wife's name out of your mouth. Just saying. Was it A, terrorist threats, B, drugs, C, child pornography, or D, assault and battery? This story had 112 million views from the original story. Jay Hughes, all the above. Very nice to see you, Purple Wings. Love the inner peas and cement. Yes. Nobody puts baby in the corner. Lemon pie is going with A. Try to move the cursor over to the other. There we go. We're on the right screen now. Who's in there? D and B. Question 13. Even the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air has spent time in jail? No way. He doesn't look like a violent man at all. Or anybody who would break the law. What did he do? You better keep his wife's name out of your mouth. That sounds familiar. Just saying. What did Will Smith do in 2005? Huh. I don't know. We're going to have to really think about this one. Terrorist threats, drugs, child pornography, or assault and battery. Again, he doesn't look like anybody who would break the law or be violent. Will Slappy. Will Slappy. Considering his last performance, I'm going with D, says Mel. Oh, thank you, Gayla. Smoke them if you got them, ladies and gentlemen. Smoke them if you got them. It's 420 somewhere, or whatever reason you need to say. Smoke them if you got them. That's funny. Will Slappy. I'm going to start referring to him as Will Slappy instead of Will Smith. That's good. Purple's going with D, assault and battery. Huh. Teddy Rose is going with D as well. E, loitering. What is it with loitering tonight? That's like at least the fourth time you said loitering. Love the Suns going with D. I think a lot of people are taking a large stretch here with D. 1989 was assault charges. What? Assault charges in 89 as well? No way. What did Will Smith do in 2005 that landed him behind bars? I mean, wasn't the Fresh Prince all about? He got in a little trouble on the playground and they shipped him off to Bel Air? Keep him safe? He's got a big mouth. That's why I guess, hey. Oh, I got that Jay Hughes just now. Bad. It's good. All right. Question 13. What landed Will Smith behind bars in 2005? I know you're all going to find this really hard to believe, but it's D as in dog. Assault and battery? Will Smith, yes, in 2005, landed behind bars for assault and battery. Will Slappy ended up behind bars. It's in his blood, Will. It's in his blood. But D as in dog was the correct answer to that one. Question 14. What? Did you know I do a live stream every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time? It's always an open chat question session. Why not stop in and say hello? That's tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Now, that's a 3-hour difference if you're on the East Coast from the West Coast. But I do on every Saturday morning. Question 14. You may not know his name. His crime, though, has made him somewhat famous. Many wish we didn't know his name. What did Paul Snider do to make this list? Was it A, exploitation of minors, B, assault and battery, C, murder, or D, drug smuggling? And by the way, he's the one that's on the right. What did Paul Snider do? Just warming up for the academy? What? I'll be there with the refreshments. My daughter made me cookies, Gayla. She didn't make me snickerdoodles, but she made me cookies. I'm gonna eat myself a homemade cookie after I'm done with this. Bad wardrobe choices. Well, it's the 1970s when this picture was taken, I believe. C, says Rykart. In the 1970s, a lot of people had made some pretty bad wardrobe choices. Let's just say that a lot of those fashions are never coming back, but some of them have made multiple reappearances as today's fashions. Particularly, bell-bottom pants have come back more than once. Yes. Oh, yum. I baked an apple pie yesterday. I made 3, Gayla. I made The recipe only says that they're apple pies, but they're um, old farmhand apple pies. I made them with oh trying to remember the name of the apple. Man, not golden crisp. Oh boy, try no no not Yukon. That's a potato. Well, anyway, I made three of them. I made two regular ones, and then I made one without a pie crust or any kind of topping. You know, like like pie crust topping. Because we have a friend who's gluten. He has a gluten like allergy. Gala apples? No, they're for some reason in my head I want to say they're like Yosemite apples or something like that. Or I they're not like the green apple or but they're like a multicolored apple. I'd have to look it up. Golden Delicious, Honey Crisp, Macintosh. They're kind of like they kind of look closer to a Macintosh apple. They're a medium-sized apple, but it was really good because it's kind of like a custard with apples in it. You make it in layers. So there's like a custard and then a layer of apples, then another layer of custard in there. It's really thin layers, but it's like but each layer suspends the apples throughout the pie. Really good. I think I got one whole apple pie left. Ambrosia or tartar. Sounds delicious. It was. I'm sure your apple pie was just as delicious, Gayla. Just as delicious. May not know his name. His crime, though, has made him somewhat famous. Many wish they didn't know his name. What did Paul Snyder do to make this list? Ladies and gentlemen, for question 14, Paul Snyder is on the right. That is his wife. Next to him, Dorothy Stratton. And Paul Snyder here murdered his wife, Dorothy Stratton, who is a Playboy model and pinup girl. And she was also a model. She did a little bit of acting, and she was on Hollywood Squares. So she was on that as well. But he murdered her. And look at that, only 11 million views on the original story from this. Grandma, not here, but she's made my favorite apple pie. Mm-hmm. Nah, pie is not my specialty. Well, not my specialty. I can do everything, Gayla, except for bake. Baking is any kind of baking has never been my specialty. I can make bread, um, and that's just because I make a sourdough from an old starter, and when it always turns out the bread always turns out, but baking is not my forte at all. The movie Star 80 is about this. There have been several movies like made for TV movies, and I think there was a couple of cinema movies that were done about this as well. But that is Dorothy Stratton. He murdered her. SOB. So where can I meet you for some sourdough, Will? You can buy the starter. They have starters that go back to the 1600s. You can buy them as part of a kit. You can buy them right on Amazon. The starters. You get them just about everywhere. But I can't remember where the. I'd have to. I think I have the book in the other room on the shelf in the other studio. My mother-in-law got me into doing making sourdough bread. So good. And the smell from like a freshly baked loaf of sourdough and the taste. as it just comes out of the oven. There's nothing better than that. I can't stand like highly processed bread like you get from the store that's already pre-sliced. I have to go to a real bakery and get real bread. Not even the grocery stores that have bakeries in them. Yeah, they're just basically thawing out something that's already been pre-made. All right, question 15, the last question of the night. This sick son of a beep makes the list. The one and only time I will ever speak his name. What did Robert Bardo murder? Who did Robert Bardo murder in July of 1989? Was it A, Rebecca Schaefer, B, Rebecca Jane, C, Rebecca Marshall, or D, Sam Sinter? 329 million views on the original story. You can't make pie crust, Mel, even though you follow the instructions to the T, huh? Gary or Jay Hughes says Shaper. Lemon pie A, Rocky Road A, and Starfire A, Purple A. Young actress Rebecca Schaefer A. July of 1989. More of the trivia questions in the future. I'm going to do like this, where you see not only the victim, but you see the actual perpetrator's picture as well. It took me some time to figure out how to get it to format correctly, like this. And even though you see Rebecca's has got the black bar on the one side, I still have to work on it a little bit. But it, for some reason, when I used the slide, putting this all together, Google Slides, for some reason I do it, it looks perfect, and then I come back and everything shifts over. And it's not the margins either. That's why I originally thought it was like the margins. Maybe it's moving the pictures and words over because of the margins. But I'm working on it. And I finally figured out how to do this without it, like putting one picture over the other, like her picture over his. It takes me some time. I'm an analog man living in a digital world. Ultimate of obsessive stalker. You did a great job on the questions. 411. Very good. Well, thank you, Jay Hughes. I appreciate it. 329 million views. Look at it. 329 million views on this, but only 11 million on Dorothy Stratton's murder. Some of these it really just shocked the hell out of me. Like the very little amount that people actually know about the crimes that some of these people have committed. I'm a paper girl. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Don't forget to give this a thumbs up if you enjoyed tonight's trivia. I would really appreciate it. It helps YouTube push out the recommendation to more people, so they can help find the trivia, and they can join us. And I think the more the merrier we get here, the better. Because I don't make any money off any of this, anyways. I just do it for fun, and this is my enjoyment, my relaxation, and I'm happy that everybody comes and joins me. I did. Thank you. Obsessed to death, says Mel. Well, ladies and gentlemen, the correct answer for question 15 is A, as in apple. Rebecca Schaefer. In case you don't remember Rebecca Schaefer, she was on a TV series that was very short lived. Obviously, it got canceled after she was murdered. but she was on the show My Sister Sam. Yes, let's show the love for Will and full one now. Well, thank you. Okay. And back to me. Now it's just me. That is all the trivia questions for tonight. So how did everybody do tonight? Did you find the questions harder, easier, more enjoyable than some of the other trivia? I'd like to hear. My Sister Sam, it died with Rebecca. Yes, it did. There was some talk originally about recasting, some other actresses in the role, of My Sister Sam, but they did away with it, and they're like, no, it's better just to let it die. It's just like, what was it, News Radio, when Phil Hartman was murdered. There were a couple other shows. For some reason, that one comes to mind. Is when Phil Hartman was murdered, by his wife. That the shows that were canceled. I'm not sure if I'm right about Phil Hartman though. The show, News Radio might have been canceled before then, but that's where one of the big breaks that Joe Rogan, got. He was on News Radio as well. Not bad, but I love the humor. Good. Did better than I thought I would. There you go, Purple. You enjoyed it. More enjoyable, says Rykard. Well, good. Well, just remember, next Friday, all the questions are from Cement Shoes. So we're all going to be, trying to figure out what the answers are for next week. Another great Friday evening. Thanks, Will. Be safe. You too, Rocky Road Lady. I appreciate it. Gary Hughes. Cocaine? Again? Love my family here. Oh, well, thank you, Purple. Yeah. Lemon Pie is one of my buddies I referred here. Well, thank you, Cement Shoes. I really appreciate that. I really do. It really does. It blows me away. So each and every one of these trivia nights, just give you kind of an outline of how many people we get between 16 and 25 people right in there who actually watch or take part in the trivia night. But within 24 hours from now, I'll have had 100, 150 people will watch it afterwards. So is it the time frame? No. I wish that was what it was. It's just that they're not subscribers, so they don't get the notification or notified of it. But if we get more people like Cement Shoes, tell their friends and family, hey, I bet you'd enjoy this trivia. Ironically, not one question is about Richard Kalinsky. Not one question. The Iceman didn't make the list. Well, I feel right at home with this wonderful community. Oh, that's cool, Mel. I appreciate that, and I'm sure everybody else does as well. Good night, Jay Hughes. Good night. Have an idea for mob trivia? That might be interesting. As well, mob trivia. They will be tricky questions. I find it hard to believe too, Cement Shoes, that didn't put anything about Richard Kalinsky in there at all. Oh, hold on. You got pop-ups that are coming up. It's reminders that I have to do a reset of my system, the computers. I have to do a reset. So the new software will actually be installed. It cannot be finalized until you restart your system. For tonight's show, well, oh no, I'm definitely sure that for tonight's show, Iceman would definitely be too serious. But for next week, next Friday, for the trivia questions that Cement Shoes is doing, I thought for sure the first 10 questions should be all about the Richard Kolinsky. Not really. I mean, I'm sure he's going to do a great job with the questions. I look forward to seeing the email. To tell you the truth, I don't know a lot about the mob. I would probably be able to do, just using, deduction or reasoning. I could probably figure out the serial killer trivia. Maybe, I hope. We'll see. But because I'm not gonna actually type them up like this. My daughter's actually going to do it because that way I get to look at it and try to figure out the answers as well. So I figured that way we're all going to be really playing along together. Please don't make your questions too hard for people like me. Oh, I'm sure they will, Cement Shoes. I'm sure they will. Thinking about mob trivia. I mean, when it comes to mob trivia, we probably would all know more of like the more known mobsters, but would we know necessarily about their crimes? That might be interesting. Did everybody know? Just a question that I know off the top of my head, but Al Capone, besides being a bootlegger, of alcohol, he also committed the largest theft from Anheuser-Busch of water. He stole bottled water from Anheuser-Busch. 12 years of fraud and embezzlement. I think Josh Duggar got the same our justice system being done there. What? 12 years of fraud and embezzlement. I think that Josh Duggar got the same as our justice being done there. For what Josh Duggar got sentenced for, I do not think is long enough for what he did. I think they should have been able to go back and say, this is what you did to your sisters, this is what you did to the babysitter, this is what you did to the family friend, and they should have been able to charge him with all of it because he admitted to it. There should be no statute of limitations on anything that, crime that you admit to, especially when you harm an actual child. I've said that once, I'll say it 1,000 times. There never should be a statute of limitations. If you did it 30 years ago, 40 years ago, you should be held, criminally responsible for it. I mean, look, we went after the Catholic priests and we went after the Mormon, church leaders, and we went after the Baptist, ministers, and we made them civilly responsible for what they did, in some cases criminally, but we went after them. Why can't we do the same thing criminally 40 years after somebody does something like that to a child? That's 40 years, that child suffered. That should be a criminal offense that should still be able to be prosecuted today. And in Josh Duggar's situation, they should have said, look, we know you admitted to this stuff. You did it. You are responsible. We're going to charge you with it all. With far too much sickening rules, each and every one of them. That's true. Got 12 years for the fraud and embezzlement. Yeah. Don't you just love the option E? Just for us, there's E answers. Yes, there is. But that's just my view. I don't make the laws. But at least like in Utah with Jared Lasik, they're going after him 30 years after he committed the crime. I just hope that they don't find out about more in between those and today. Really hope there is no other victims out there. Well, we'll find out though. His next court date is November 30th. Yes, that is true, Mel. But I think it should be just to take it out of the hands of the states. I think it should be a federal law. I think it should be a federal law that erases the statute of limitations on things like that. If you did it, that should be a federal crime. Yeah, maybe they can prosecute it in state court if your state has a law. But if there's a statute of limitations in your state court, or exemptions where they can't do it unless you were brought up, as named as a perpetrator of the crime, and they find it later on through DNA. Yeah, you actually did do it. Whatever. I think there should be a federal statute that says there is no statute of limitations, and we can go back and criminally charge you for what you did. Wish Sarah Boone could do stuff Duggar in a suitcase. Give them to his sister. It is, Mel. It very much is. Crimes like that against the child. A lot of people just think that there's only the one victim, the actual victim itself. But rape, incest, molestation of a child, whenever it happens, it's a multi-generational, crime. It's not going to just affect their life. It's going to affect the lives around them, and it's going to affect any children that they may have going on. It's a crime that unfortunately just keeps on affecting people, and in a lot of parts of the United States, they have laws. They're like, okay, unless you were named as a prime suspect, or there were the accusation came up beforehand, a lot of states will not prosecute after 10 years or 15 years after the crime, and they say, well, you know what, we have to have more than just an accusation of the crime to move forward after this point of time, because people's memories change, people move, circumstances change. That's just horseshit, in my opinion. Sorry for my language, but it is. Well, at least in Utah, there are no statute of limitations or restrictions placed in the way and the barriers between. If it doesn't matter if it was 3 days ago, 30 days ago, 30 years ago, there's no statute of limitations for sex crimes, for the most part, in the state of Utah. And I think that should be the same thing everywhere. You should have you should make skids of Jared's also. Skids? What are skids, Reichart? Skids of Jared? Comedy skits. Yeah, I came that close, Reichart, to putting one in the video I did yesterday, where I did the viewer questions and answers on Jared Lysick. I came that close to making it into a comedy skit. You know, I was gonna do the same thing where side by side. I asked the questions and I answered the question, but you know, having the reaction to them both. But I was going to bring K Dog into it. I came that close, and I was like, nah. I ended up talking myself out of it. The skits, putting a time limit on crimes that keep on giving is like fighting a war you can never win. Oh, Letitia Stout. I want to do it. Hopefully after the new year, I'll be able to, find a way to incorporate it all. Because after the new year, there are some things that I'm going to change a little, about my content. I'm not going to do away with anything, so don't worry about that. The trivia is still going to be here, and the Saturday morning conversations with everybody are still going to be here. I'm going to do some content that's a little bit different than what I'm doing now. And that's just because that's where, people are enjoying the content, and they're watching for not just, if I do a 5 minute video, they're watching longer because maybe I'm finding a way to retain their interest in the content more. So it's like everything else in this world, ladies and gentlemen. You can't expect a different outcome if you keep on doing the same thing you're doing every day. I have to grow, and I have to change the content just a little bit here and there to make it more enjoyable for a larger audience. Thank you, Rykart. But just that. Yeah, you guys know that altogether I have 5 YouTube channels. 5. Um, but I only post content to 2, just 2 of the 5. But I have 5 YouTube channels. I have one that is set up just for that I planned on originally just dumping, putting the comedy skits on, but I never got around to actually doing it because I got a whole damn wardrobe of different outfits and stuff that are hanging up over there that I planned on using for different ones. I mean, I was joking with my wife the other day. I was like, if the police ever came here and raided this place for whatever reason, I mean, could you imagine what is stored on that hard drive? Why are you always looking up information on dead children? Do you know where these missing children are? What do you know about this case? Why do you have so many pictures of dead babies or dead people on your hard drive? I mean, that's the kind of stuff that's stored on that hard drive. Yeah, it's an external hard drive. This one is 1 tera, but I've got 6 of them. I've got 6 of those, and they're all numbered 1 through 6. But and then think about it. Then over here, on the rack, I've got wigs, prison outfits, law enforcement uniforms. Then I've got dress shirts. I mean, it kind of looks bad if they ever raid this place for whatever reason. I miss K Dog and Night Train. I think it's still too soon to do comedy about him. I don't know why it's showing that. That was weird. Maybe because I plugged it in. Don't forget about Dr. Motley Feelgood. K-Dog, Night Train. But, well, I'm going to wrap it up there, ladies and gentlemen. I really do appreciate each and every one of you stopping in tonight to play trivia. And thank you, Cement Shoes, for giving me a shout out to other people that may find the trivia night interesting. I really do appreciate that, and I look forward to your email of the trivia questions for next week. So I'll keep an eye out for that. And meantime, everyone, you all have a great weekend ahead. Hope to see you all tomorrow morning, 8 a.m. Again, Pacific Standard Time. So, if you're Central or wherever in the United States or in the world, maybe you're in Canada. I don't know where everybody is. I know where some of you are, but thank you again. Here's my opinion on skits about homegrown terrorism. Lori and Chad Daybell go to town hunting for zombies. That would make an interesting skit. I'd have to think about how I would actually be able to do something like that. But everyone, thank you again. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you all stay safe and have a wonderful weekend. If I don't see you before the end of it, good night.